RescueOp is an organisation that rescues children from sexual slavery and human trafficking.
We're in the hot zone. Okay.
We also put together programs that enable potential rescuers and organisations that might be interested in starting rescuing children to get the skills they need to go out and identify and then rescue the children that are out there caught in these terrible situations.
This evening we're heading out to a few bars that we've heard that there could be some underage girls at.
My motivation for applying for RescueOp was when I started hearing about issues like human trafficking and these women just being used and abused. I wanted to come and do something about it.
Right away they're getting us into the process of actually doing some of the rescue work.
We're going to go and try to hit all of them, see if we can identify as many minors as we can.
You know, there is, I don't think, any better calling than to go out and rescue girls who cannot help themselves.
There's lives on the line tonight, and we do hope to find those gals and get them out.
Human trafficking is something that I'm passionate about. I've been looking into different organizations like this for maybe a couple years, and finally one day came across them on the internet.
Gets in.
Initially it's a 10-day course, and within the first 5 days it's full-on training. So we cover in the first 3 days self-defense. We partner with world leaders in self-defense, and these guys bring a program to the training course that leaves you with a confidence to go out into these dark places and rescue these kids.
I'm here, my hands are up.
So what we do is we provide baseline self-defense and security training. We want them to be able to protect themselves, to get themselves out of that situation as quick as possible so they can go back the next night and put themselves in harm's way again to bring another girl out.
I don't have any experience in any sort of self-defense at all, and so it's been really nice to be able to jump in, learn some of these basic moves, and give myself a little bit more confidence.
The focus was on how to survive in a situation, whether it be single attacker or multiple attackers, somebody with a knife, somebody with a gun, and live to work another day.
Overall, the self-defense training was outstanding. Figuring out ways to disarm someone and do it effectively so we can escape was a highlight for me. The techniques that we were taught were simple and enabled us to be able to disarm somebody and get myself or a teammate out of that location as quickly as possible.
What we teach the guys is different ways that we use cameras, techniques on how to get the best angle, how to get the pimps that are selling the children to give up the important information, the handing over of money and that type of thing, and the purchasing of the child.
2 volunteers went in with the sole purpose of purchasing these girls for the night to provide evidence that this bar was selling these girls for sex.
We had individuals set up in different locations all throughout the bar and running their cameras, and so we had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different cameras all set up to be able to record what was happening.
All the while doing that in a way that didn't look suspicious, using some special techniques that were taught in the course to make it look like you're not filming and not have anybody even seem suspicious.
You walk into these places and you see the signs, no filming, but the boys did so well utilising the techniques that we'd given them, and when you look back over the footage, it really does tell a story on how it all takes place.
Well, my partner was able to complete the transaction with Mama-san, leave the bar with her, all the while I was filming.
And we're able to give that file to the local authorities.
We started learning how to keep a record of all the different places that rescue agents have gone and the different girls that they've met, and we're gathering as much intel as we can and sharing that together as a group.
I already got it, and I did a live location
So we're dropping live locations to track us at any given point in time. We're dropping pins to show which bars we're visiting, and we're telling the names and ages of girls that we're talking to.
Send teammates coordinates of this place and they can sweep through after we've gone.
Communication and being organized is imperative.
Okay, heads out. The entrance, 10 meters.
There's a lot in it. We're teaching the guys techniques on how to extract how old the kids are. You know, obviously in these places they are going to lie about their age because they're not allowed to be working in some of these establishments. So we have techniques to extract that information.
In America, you have to be 18 to get a tattoo. How old were you when you got that?
18.
I had the story about the tattoo. That's just a lot of the girls have tattoos, so I use that as a lead-in to ask about age. A little bit after that, I got her social media profile and all that, so it's a way to get in touch with her, which it will also give more information about her and more clues to what her situation is.
Part of the beauty of these courses is that everyone who trains with us, you're actually involved with real life rescues.
Don't worry, sir, we give you good service.
They get to see firsthand the rescues of some of these kids as young as 11 years old.
Happy ending!
We had some informants that reported 2 different pimps who trafficked underage girls, and we posed as international businessmen who were coming to the party.
We showed up at the hotel where all the girls would be. We went up to a room, everybody picked a girl. As soon as we paid the pimp with dusted money, the police officer put cuffs on her, arrested her, and it was all over for her.
Once the girls realized that this was actually happening, that the mama-san was being arrested, tears starting to come through their eyes, and they realized there was a way out now. They had the opportunity to do something more, and they didn't have to live under this woman who had been abusing them for years.
These guys that come on the teams, they're the ones that are handing over the money and the purchase of a child. Once that's done, they go back to the safety of their home country.
In many ways, it's awesome to feel that we were part of this plan to change over 20 girls' lives.
Literally in a matter of hours, we're flying home. And so to have this privilege and the honor to be here is such an incredible experience.
So the type of people that we're looking for to come on these teams is people that are willing to learn with no egos, those that are passionate about rescuing children and are humble, and then are willing to apply the skills that we've given them to get out there and get a job done.
I would recommend RescueOp. I felt like we jumped into these real scenarios very quickly. We were prepared well for it, and I learned a lot from it. It's a huge stepping stone for me and what I want to do and how to help these children.
I would 100% recommend RescueOp. This is an opportunity to jump in and do something that most people never get to do. I have got some experiences there that I'll never forget.
Don't be bogged down or burdened with the small details of this is not the right time or I don't know how to get there. I would say just step out and say, all right, I'm that person who's willing to do it, and don't let those obstacles hold you back from coming.
And I would say that if you have any compassion for the amount of trafficking that takes place in this world, knowing that there's more people in slavery than there has ever been in any time in human history, I cannot implore you enough to do this. I can say definitively this is one of the most incredible experiences I've ever had, and I can't encourage you enough to participate in this.